sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
How do you stand out?
What you need to do is be that person that's different,
and it's bigger than you think.
Rise from the ashes,
After
like the phoenixes that you
Easter, Passover, or just a phenomenal weekend. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend, got a chance to enjoy themselves a little bit, either themselves or enjoy some time with family. It is 18th. Things are the year is just kind of cruising along, right? So what I want to do, look, it's Monday. James was kind of talking about that. We had an interesting kind of Good Friday, Easter starting off. Some people are back to work, others aren't. I just want to touch on a couple of quick things, some thoughts. I want you guys to look at your week, look at your month, your quarter, kind of evaluate where you're at and what you need to do. You know, it's something that I have you do regularly, and there's a reason for it. You know, we have a tendency to gain momentum, to slow things down, to, you know, have a weekend like this and then take sometimes a full week to get back in the swing of things, right? You have a few days with family, you celebrate Easter, you go out and you do a bunch of cooking at home, you do the ham, you do the turkey, or you do, an Easter egg hunt, or you're celebrating Passover, you're doing something else, or you're not celebrating, but you're just enjoying days off. And then it's time to kind of get moving again, get focused, put yourself out there, make things happen. And so a couple of quick things. A lot of people start their days and their weeks with a to-do list. That's great. Sometimes people look at what they're accomplishing. Sometimes they don't pay any attention to it. This weekend, I was kind of thinking about, all right, I'm here. I've got, upcoming trip and wedding coming up. We've got some events I've got that'll be coming up. Like right after that, I'll be coming back and immediately going out to some events to host and speak and then, making sure that we've got content and guests and others on here with you guys. I was thinking about where I'm at and what I can do, and spending time with family and talking with friends and sending out, announcements with, our wedding stuff and just kind of evaluating where I'm at. And I spoke with a few people this weekend, and it was kind of an interesting exercise for me, talking with some people that are pushing themselves forward and doing amazing things, and talking with some that are, struggling with everyday things that are going on with their life, and others that have overburdened themselves because they put too many things on their plate and not given themselves enough time. And, just making promises and then realizing that, hey, there's a bit more work to do than what they thought they had to get done. And so things were kind of slipping by the wayside. And it's those moments where you stop and you think about yourself. How many of you guys have put yourself into a situation where you look at others around you, and instead of judging what's happening with them, David, it's going to be in May. I'll get you guys the announcement. I'll let you guys see it. So I built a landing page website with the links because that's what we do, right? Instead of sending out a regular invitation. But anyway, how many of you guys have learned in life when you see other people going through things, instead of judging them and saying, hey, you should be, and this should happen, you stop and you take a look and you kind of self-reflect. Say, where am I needing to work, right? And at times you go, I'm glad I'm doing this, but doing it in a way where instead of looking and pointing the finger and going, man, I'm glad I'm not that guy, I'm glad I'm not her, you stop and you look and you say, I'm grateful that I've been able to learn X, right? And so I had a few of those moments over the weekend. Part of it came as I was helping out a friend with some work. I think I've still got some paint on me in different places. I rubbed my face raw trying to get paint off of it. And I was remembering how that was life for over a decade, every single day. It was paint, or it was, marble polishing dust, or it was chemicals from cleaning, or it was something else. And I just remember thinking how grateful I was that's no longer my day-to-day, that I have an opportunity to do something else. And so as I look at, as I kind of combine that with sitting down and going, oh my gosh, I got so much coming up. I've got so much to do. We're into the year. We're into the quarter. Why hasn't this gotten done? I should have had this finished up by now. I've got this around the corner, and I've got to prep for it. Instead of allowing myself to get overwhelmed, I took a few minutes to kind of sit and reassess and look at it from a point of gratitude. And so as I talk to you about a couple of these key points today, I want you to, as you do these exercises that I'm going to give you, try and come at it from that perspective instead of looking at it. You're going to inevitably think of people in your life or maybe yourself that are struggling in some of these categories, or maybe that's you. And instead of looking and saying, man, I'm glad I'm not them, look and say, I'm glad I've learned X, or I'm going to continue to learn X and apply this, right? From kind of an affirmation standpoint. So, Forrest and Michael, I'll get to that in just a second. So first off, guys, as you sit and you kind of evaluate where you're at right now with your month, your week, your quarter, and moving into your year, looking at everything, I want you to first, instead of making a list of things that need to get done, which is typically our default, I want you to first make a list of victories, both small and large, that you have accomplished this quarter, right? Quarter and now a couple of weeks. What have you been able to do? Victories small and large. Okay. Sit and think about it. Write them down. Write them out. Now, I'm going to give you guys something at the end of this. I'm going to drop in for those of you that are willing to participate in this today to actually do something. I'm going to have a little thank you worked up. So first off, victory small and large. Write out a list, what you've done. Next, I want you to write out mentors, coaches, and advisors. Where are you getting information? Either live, personal, one-on-one kind of coaching and training that you're getting, podcasts, books, and videos. We're going to count here. Where are you getting your information, and are you focusing on that, or are you gathering most of your input and advice and commentary from the people and situations that create drama around you? So mentors, coaches, and advisors. Guys, when I talk about mentors, coaches, and advisors, they could be positive or negative. So the question here is, where am I getting my information? Now, if you're getting information from a place that you shouldn't, stop and reassess, but kind of outline where it is now and maybe where you'd like to be with it. Next, you're going to look at some goals, short-term, long-term. This should go hand in hand with the victories, small and large. We're not talking to-do lists here, though that'll be kind of a subcategory of this, okay? But first, goals, like things that you actually want to achieve. Now, we're looking at from kind of a SMART goal, dumb goal, perception, long-term, those dreams. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What are you trying to do, right? Long-term, what's really going to move that needle? Like we've talked about with some of the cards. I had you guys a few weeks back write out these cards. I'll show you in a minute. But what's that first goal that is almost world changing, life changing, something that you just can't achieve in the short term, right? Like I've talked about, bringing confidence, awareness, and potential to every single adult, helping every single small entrepreneur establish themselves and get a business launched, right? If that's their dream. So something short-term, long-term goals, and then short-term, we're looking 30, 60, 90 days. So long-term, I'm talking 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, short-term, 30, 60, 90 days. Okay. And then hand in hand with that, actions that you can take today and over the course of the next week that will get you closer to those short-term goals. What can you do today? Actions I can take today and over the course of the next week. That's your to-do list. But I want you to first, before you look at the goals, look at things that you've already accomplished, those victories, small and large, everything that you've done, maybe something you've done consistently, maybe something that you just got done, whether it's launching or being good on your diet for a day or, for a week, or getting yourself to the gym for the first time, whatever it may be. Okay. Look at that kind of thing. Next, we're looking at where you're getting your coaching, training, and advice, looking at goals, short-term, long-term, and then actions that you can take. So, a little while ago, I had you look at these cards, creating some cards, your goal one, and then, financial goal and things that you can do today, that kind of stuff. That's your to-do list. So write those out. Now, for those of you, here's what I want. As I want you guys to write this out. This should take 5-10 minutes. It depends on you. It depends on how in depth you want to go. Once you've done it, step 2 is going to be to, I want you to shorten it, and 1 or 2 items, or just like a couple of words for each number 1, 2, 3, and 4 that I gave you right there. And I'm going to drop these into the Skype chat and just write them out. Number 1, victories, small and large. Number 2, mentors, coaches, advisors. Number 3 is goals, short-term, long-term. And number 4 is actions you can take. So I'm going to drop those into the Skype group. I'd like for everybody that does participate and put in, hey, here's a victory that I had. Here's a mentor that I'm listening to, or a book that I'm reading along those lines, goals that I've got, and, an action that I can take. And again, short, concise, 1 or 2 words for each of those. The book that I told you guys about, and I know this may not interest every single person, but the book that I told you guys I was finalizing for SEO, search engine optimization for websites, that should be done today with all of the graphics and everything kind of put together for that. I want to say it's over 50 pages. We got a lot of cool info in there. So I will be gifting that to anybody that, finishes this today. And then I am updating. I hope my mic is still working, right? You guys still hear me? Yeah. Okay. I will be updating later this week my life workbook that I have done, and I will be adding some stuff to that. So if the SEO doesn't interest you, then you'll get the updated life workbook that I'll be using I'll be using both of those in sales funnels coming up. And so it is something that will be sold. It's something I'm going to give to you guys. I put a bit of work into it. So participate, put in some answers. Even if you go, hey, I don't need the workbook, but I think I need to, put a little work into myself. So I'm going to answer these questions and share it and put it out there, and give yourself a little bit of accountability. Okay. So quick review, guys. This is what you're doing today. Number 1, victory, small and large. So 1 or 2 things. That's all you got to write down. Been solid on my diet, been working out, launched my funnel, got my first sale, whatever that is, right? Got a raise at work, been consistent at work. Mentors, coaches, and advisors, someone that you're listening to, a book that you've read, I started a life coach program, whatever. Next, goals, short-term, long-term, just something quick. I don't need the long written out version that you would read in kind of that visualization scenario. We just want 1 or 2 quick terms that describe that, and then an action that you're going to take today or the next week. Again, short, concise. I'm not looking for paragraphs here so that everybody can read it. Tammy, if you want to email it to me, Andrew at Blake Newbar, that's fine. Feel free to do that. Does everybody understand the homework? Good. It's 12:15. So hopefully by 12:30, we got a handful of these in there. The SEO book will be done later on today. So I will see that. And as soon as I got it in hand, I will.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out?
Andrew, what you need to do is be that person that's different and it's bigger than you think.
Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix.
Have a good one, everyone.